What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, we're going to be walking through the Throwback Challenge for the Sinnoh region. Very excited about this. We've got some really great rewards along the way. We're going to be talking about the most efficient way to do this, ways that you can save yourself some Stardust and potentially save yourself some money along the way. If you do enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But the first thing that we need to point out is that we're going to mention all of the Pokemon currently available in raids. And the point behind this is if you find yourself stuck during these challenges, you can head over to the raids to potentially help you get out of it. And I'm going to be pointing out some of those Pokemon that are probably going to be the more popular options to do it. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the first task. We've got catch 3 grass, water, or fire type Pokemon. So luckily it's pretty wide of a spread. I don't see people having a problem with that, but if you do, maybe consider doing those starters, for example. You also got a Cresselia, maybe a couple more, but anyways, the next one is to power up a Pokemon. Now this is a really good opportunity to save yourself some Stardust. I think some people just kind of pick a Pokemon, but what you can do is reverse sort order your CP to where the smallest CP comes up first. And that doesn't mean just power up that Pokemon. What you need to do is go click on your Pokemon, start scrolling through it, and look for 200 Stardust to power up. That's going to be the lowest price possible, unless you got a lucky level 1 or something like that. But if you find yourself 200 Stardust, go ahead and scroll through 15, 20 Pokemon. Go ahead and power that one up. That's going to be the cheapest way to do it. Or you can power up a Pokemon that you planned on powering up. Anyways, the next one is to take a snapshot of a rock-type Pokemon. Once you do all that, you're going to get yourself a Cranidos. Now with Cranidos, there's not going to be a way to save any time onto the second step, like throwing challenges or anything. So you're going to immediately go into step number 2. Take a snapshot of a grass type. That's going to be easy. Send a gift. That's going to be easy. And then catching a grass type. I hope that's going to end up being easy. If not, once again, you can refer to Turtwig. You can also potentially use an incense. I would personally use an incense first, just so you're not having to use like a remote raid pass or something, for example. And then you'll end up getting yourself a Grottle. Now with Grottle, you can technically save a couple steps by going ahead and hitting yourself some nice throws along the way. So maybe consider throwing a couple of them, but not necessarily using a pineapple berry, or not using like a raspberry or something, for example. That way Grottle will continuously pop out, or be likely to. But then once you get done with those 3 nice throws, you'll have to hatch an egg and catch a fighting type Pokemon. So with hatching an egg, hopefully you've kind of timed it out and you're not stuck on like a 10-kilometer egg when you go into this and you basically get to this point and then you just have to walk 4, 5, 6 kilometers to be able to hatch that. A pro tip is to try to go with a lower egg, like a 2-kilometer, because you can do all of these without traveling any distance whatsoever. So a 2-kilometer egg would be ideal. And then for the fighting type, honestly, I think just going with a Timber there would be a nice one. Plus, it's got a shiny opportunity, so I don't think too many people are going to be too upset about doing that. If not, it could be a little difficult. Maybe consider doing an incense in that case if you're kind of stuck there. But anyways, let's go to move on to step number 4. You're going to have to earn a candy walking with your buddy. I have personally opted to just go with the 1-kilometer Pokemon, maybe something like a Magikarp, for example, to be able to get that done as quickly as possible. And then up next, catch a ground type and water type. Now, there are a lot of options to be able to go with for the ground, as well as going with the water options, but a little bit of a trick with this that may make it a little bit tough is that as far as like the ground typing, for example, is concerned, you're talking about a Hippowdon, which is a tier 4, which means it's going to be impossible to solo. Man, that I feel like that one may be a little tricky. Hopefully you can get yourself the right spawns and stuff, but you may end up finding yourself a little stuck on the ground type, but maybe go with an incense, something like that. Maybe it'll carry over from the previous task. I think that would be a great way to do it. Cross your fingers on the spawns, and then you'll get yourself a Prinplup. So anyways, with Prinplup, you can actually go ahead and start doing the 3 berries to catch the Pokemon. If you do that, maybe just go with a pineapple or something, just throw straight balls. You don't want to actually try to catch the Pokemon. That way you can get all 3 of them done and only do it on one Pokemon if you don't want to use an incense, for example. Up next, you've got battle another trainer. So you can do this a couple ways. You can battle locally, you can battle remotely with your friends, and just throw in some 10 CP Pokemon, go into the battle, and just get it done like that, move on. Or if you want to just do a real battle, just go into Go Battle League, but I would not recommend rushing through it. You don't want to give yourself a loss unless you don't care. Up next is catch a ghost type. Now, this is the one that I personally got stuck on in the last set of research for the Hoenn research, and luckily a Sableye did pop up on the raids. We do have our saving grace with Drifloon, so that's personally going to be my backup that I kind of keep in the back of my mind. Potentially use the free raid pass if I can drive out to the location safely. and you'll get yourself a Drifloon. So you also have a shiny opportunity there, so that's pretty cool. Up next, you've got take a snapshot of a steel type. That's going to be easy to do. Give your buddy 3 treats, going to be easy to do, and then catch a steel type Pokemon. If you are not finding any of them in the spawns, you do have a couple of options with something like a Bastiodon. You've got a Clink, and then I'm sure there's another one. Yeah, Bronzong. So you've got some options here that you can potentially solo. Like I think with these 3, you can solo them. So maybe consider doing that as a backup. I would personally opt to do a Bastiodon if I could, just because you can get yourself a lot of candy. It's kind of rare to get that, so that's personally what I'm doing. And then you also get a Shieldon to give yourself the opportunity to get even more candy. Cannot wait to power up my Bastiodon completely for PvP. I'm only like 2 power-ups away from finishing it out. And then up next, this is the one that everyone is going to be looking for. Evolve a Pokemon to get yourself a shiny Gible. How cool is that? It's not guaranteed, of course, but you have the chance to get it, so very exciting. Earn a candy to walk with your buddy. Once again, we're sticking with the Magikarp. Catch an Ice-type Pokemon. Hopefully that will not be difficult on the spawns. We technically do have an Abomasnow, but it is level 4, making it difficult to, of course, do any type of solo whatsoever. You're going to have multiple trainers. I hate when this type of stuff happens, but it is what it is. And you're going to get yourself an Abomasnow, so that's exciting. I wish we could get that beforehand to be able to complete it. Anyways, you can technically do your 3 great throws on Abomasnow. Just make sure you're not using a Raspberry or nothing like that, because that increases the chances of catching it. You go ahead and get it done if you are worried about not having enough Pokemon spawns. And then power up a Pokemon 3 times. We've already talked about that. I personally just reverse sort order that CP and try to find 200 Stardust and do it as cheaply as possible. That's what I've been doing this entire time, just to save on that. And then up next, you'll catch yourself an electric type Pokemon. So if you find yourself stuck on that one, you can do an Alolan Raichu as a good option. It's pretty good for PvP, so maybe you'll end up getting one there, and you can set it up for some trades later on to try to get the correct IVs for PvP. And once you complete all of those things, you'll get yourself a shiny Shinx. And then, ladies and gentlemen, once you've completed that, you get an excellent reward of both the rare candies and the Grass Knot exclusive move, Cresselia. So if you're curious about how this Pokemon performs, I actually just made a video on that yesterday, so it was the last one uploaded. Make sure you go ahead and check that out to figure out exactly what you do with the Pokemon. Anyways, let me know how these tasks are going for you. Did you get yourself a shiny Cresselia? What are you looking forward to the most? What about that shiny Gible? Anything and everything, let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.